Alrighty. Hello, everybody. Thanks for the celebrate, Soph. Hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. It is time for our weekly dose of Ace Attorney here with Soph. Last we left off, we were in the middle of the trial, and I'm pretty sure we were kind of going after Olive Green, weren't we? think something like that.
That's part of it.
And there's a whole, I'm pretty sure, a whole other... This word. That's a save. I need to stop. Go back. No save. We were going after Olive Green, I remember, and I feel like we're going to have a whole nother section here that goes back into the past a little bit, just because we have more information that we haven't yet used, and more evidence that we have yet to use. Let's see. Which button was the lock? There's the lock. For now... Tell the court. Okay, we will consider your trespassing on some future occasion, but for now, tell the court what you found, what evidence your search revealed. Okay.
Well, I spotted the note that I'd sent him lying on the floor. When I went to pick it up, I noticed something. One of the floorboards was loose, and underneath it, I discovered a secret hiding place.
Yes, we also discovered that hiding place.
Inside, we found a newspaper cutting, and a photograph, and an empty tin box. Yes. Well, the thing is, when I found it, the box wasn't empty.
What? There's something in it.
A gun. Yes. This rather nice key.
Oh, I'm not doing that. Especially right out the bat. What are you doing with that?
What the?
Rian's the color is drained from his face.
Give it
He doesn't
here.
have much left.
His hair's gonna go white. His face is gonna go white. He's gonna blend in with a sheet of paper. Give it here. Give it to me now. It's mine. I inherited it. What was that, witness? What did you say? You inherited it. No,
What's all this about? He inherited that key?
It was obviously important to you, since you've gone to such lengths to hide it. So I took it. I don't know what it's for, but you took something precious from me, so I took something precious from you. So what if it means you can't open something now? I don't care.
give it back this minute. Give it to me.
Proud myself, witness. So Mr. Shamsphere has tried, and in one case succeeded, to take the life of 2 lodgers now. Yes, his motive for doing so is the key to everything that's happened. The key. It's true that there appears to be no motive to support the accusation against Mr. Shamsphere, at first. But considering everything we now know, I think there is actually something that could explain it.
What?
I need to recall every piece of evidence at our disposal. Everything we've seen and heard. Over the last 3 weeks.
Oh my god. Tonight is not the night to be doing that.
Because I'm sure that I just got a glimpse of the link that runs through all those events. In that case, counsel, I must demand that you present evidence to the court in support of your claim. What is it that you say can explain the motivation for Mr. Shamsphere's alleged crimes?
A bar of soap?
Yes.
You know...
he needs the key to get the coins out of the soap.
Obviously. I don't know if this is a niche thing or not, because it's something that my little brother showed me. And I say a bar of soap. I just think of... There's this one video... I'm not sure if it was a Vine or a TikTok or just a weird little video, but it's of this, I don't know, teenage kid, tween kid in his bathroom, and the camera is like this super like wide fisheye lens, and he comes up to like the sink counter, and he pulls out, finds a $5 bill, and he goes, $5. So it's $5. No, a bar of soap. It's amazing, or something like that. I forget what it is. And every time I see this bar of soap, that plays in the back of my head. I have to go find it. It's the stupidest dang thing, but my little brother was so tickled by it. Like, he would show me it at every opportunity. I'm like, yup, a bar of soap. And now I'm tickled by it in a different way. Okay, presumably this guy, yeah? I don't know if we've read through this yet or not. Investigative findings related to Selden. 18 counts of burglary, 6 counts of suspected murder. Died of natural causes whilst in prison. His final moments witnessed only by his cellmate. The estimated 1,000 pounds worth of loot he stole remains uncovered. Condemned criminal dies of natural causes in prison. Manchester's Strange Ways prisons. Announced the death of the convicted murderer and burglar Selden by natural causes in the early hours this morning. He had been suffering with fever since the end of October. Alerted by the shots of his fellow cellmate, medical staff arrived to find him already dead. Before his capital punishment could be carried out. I'm going to assume it's this, but stranger things have happened. So
That was my first thought.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say... I never trust Ace Attorney.
That's an official police report, is it not?
You're right. The Selden file. How did you get a hold of that? Selden?
The now sadly deceased Mr. Ross and the defendant Mr. Natsume have only one thing linking them. The fact that they had lodgings in the same room. Well, yes, we know this, certainly.
A room that was formerly occupied by Selden. Until that is, he was arrested by Scotland Yard for his involvement in multiple burglaries.
I see. And it so happens that the convict Selden left behind one very substantial mystery when he died.
The sum 1,000 pounds worth of loot that he'd stole. Which is yet remains to be found.
Ah, yes, of course. Come back to me now. Written in this file here. So is it coming back to you, or is it written in the file?
It's coming back to him from the file. 1,000 pounds lost en route to hell. That's how the paper summed it up.
And it seems that one particular fellow inmate was with the convict in his final moments. It's not hard to imagine Selden entrusting that inmate with his most closely guarded secret. The location of the stolen loot, and perhaps a key, to unlock whatever container the valuables were in.
You mean this key is...
Mr. Shamspeare, it was you, wasn't it? You were at the capital offender's side when he died, were you not?
What are you talking about? This is a false charge, I tell you! A false charge! The name of the inmate who was with Selden at his death isn't noted in this file. But a simple telegram to the prison where he died would quickly tell us how false the charge really is.
But even if it's true, why would the man be so intent on killing every subsequent occupant of the convict's lodgings?
Judge, please.
There's only one explanation for that, my lord. It was in that very room that Selden hid his loot. Thank you for catching up, Ryunosuke.
So, it all comes out.
gay man in June.
Oh my god.
Yes, and having established that, all of Mr. Shamspear's subsequent actions start to make perfect sense.
When he was let out of prison following Selden's death, he made immediately for Mr. Garredeb's lodgings in the hope of renting Selden's old room. However, the retired army man was unable to offer him the accommodation of his choice.
Because Selden's old room had already been let to somebody else, Mr. Duncan Ross.
Which is why Mr. Shamspear subsequently devised his gas-based plot to kill the occupant of the room. And when he was successful, he presumably intended to inquire about switching into the newly vacant room.
However, a certain jittery someone had beaten him to it. Mr. Soseki Natsume, the defendant of this case, no less. So you decided to use the ploy with the gas again, didn't you, Mr. Shamspear? This time to oust Mr. Natsume. All for one simple and avaricious reason. To get your hands on the 1,000 pounds of loot left behind by the dead convict.
You... I'm not gonna shout.
Arg.
Arg. I'm a pirate now. Shakespearean pirate. Shamspearean pirate. Huh?
It's the convict
Oh.
that died.
I want you to have me loot. Anything to stop the coppers getting their mitts on it. It's hidden in the room where I was lodging when they got me. Here, this is the key to it. Take it. Always stay one step ahead. Wait. Should wait for it to go before I speak. See you in hell, I guess. Shamspear.
You gotta be careful about it with the auto advance, though.
Yeah. It's mine.
What did he just say?
It's mine. That loot is mine. Oh.
Ah, yes. Crazy mode.
Crazy mode time.
Mr. Shamspear?
It's all lies! I don't accept any of it! Why should I? After all, you don't have a shred of evidence. You can't prove I killed that fellow! Forsooth, I'm the victim here, remember? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? If I don't admit to it, there's nothing you can do! You can't arrest me! For the time being, anyway. Verily, you can't arrest the victim, can you? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? I'm so close. I just need a few more hours. I swore to myself that I'd get my hands on it, and I can almost taste it now. Do you really think I'd just give up?
I was kind of hoping. There's no question in my mind now. This man is guilty through and through.
Really now? You're just coming to this conclusion, you escape? But he seems so utterly intoxicated by the idea of that loot. I'm afraid that however hard you press him, he'll never admit to what he's done, Mr. Naruhodo.
There is a way.
Pardon?
There's one way I can finish him.
What is with this phrasing? No! You mustn't! Mr. Naruhodo!
He's already committed the most heinous crimes to get his hands on that loot. Which means all we need to do is find it first.
A fine plan. Were it not for the fact that the police thoroughly searched the room following the death of Mr. Ross. If it's there at all, it must be very well hidden indeed.
Without conclusive evidence, I certainly cannot rule.
If only... If only if there was some way we could find the convict's loot quickly.
This is the final piece in this complex puzzle. But I think we might have it in our possession already. Or rather, I think we may well have something that can help us find where that loot is hidden.
Do we?
My lord,
Hello, Ascar.
have some boxes.
Thanks. A celebration for you, my lord.
Yes, Council? Oh. The defense would like to make a proposal. I'm already married, but thank you. About how to find a late convict's hidden loot. I believe we are already in possession of something that could give us a clue as to its whereabouts.
Oh, what a sprite.
Our last chance. So it has to be worth a gamble. Besides, we've used the same technique once already, and it definitely paid off then. Very well then, Council. Let the court hear your idea.
What are we gonna do? What are you talking about? Yunosuke.
What do you propose we can use in order to locate the hiding place of the deceased convict's hall? My first thought is check the photo of Garadeb and Ross. Okay.
What's the front door?
I thought maybe he was holding something,
Yeah.
but it was just the bag.
What art supplies? Ah! I don't know how we would be able to get specific handprints. Was it... do you remember how that worked? Was it Sholmes being like, ah, yes, whoever you can think of in your mind, it will show their handprints? Or was it something specific?
No, you need, like, essentially some spit or something.
Okay, gotcha. Need some DNA.
Yeah. My other thought was the gas box, but I don't have any reason to believe that that wouldn't have been checked.
Yeah, especially because
Ross's death and today.
yeah, and if I'm not sure if this would what's the word? Is that the same? Is this it? I'm not sure because I remember they said they put like a super duper one in his because they had a suspicion that he was stealing.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it would
They
apply
do
to
have the whole
Natsume's
new
room.
one.
Yeah, but even with Natsume's room, I'm pretty sure he pays for his gas. So someone would have had to come and collected the coins and stuff.
Right.
And I don't know, 1,000 pounds of loot? Had to be like one tiny diamond or something, you know, right? I think a save. This way we don't have to feel pressured. I don't want to have any more pressure on my shoulders today.
It's weird to me that the photo of Ross and Garadeb is still...
I know, it's not really addressed. I don't know if we've used... I don't think we've used it, have we?
We used it against Miss Green,
Yeah.
I think.
Be
but-
like, do you mean this man? What do you propose we can use in order to locate the hiding place of the deceased convict's hall?
Do we know the timeline between when he was arrested and when he died?
I don't know if we know that timeline.
Because I think we just know that he died in October. We don't know.
Did it say when he was arrested?
No.
I think he died in November. It said... Oh, or maybe this was speculation because it said since the end of October. So one would assume at least a week or so has passed for someone to refer since
Like
the end of
somebody said
October.
November at one point.
Maybe, yeah.
I was just trying to figure out if there's a weird stretch where we can be like, ah, yes. Looking at how long he'd been ill, we can deduce that.
Right. Okay. We have not used this. Nor have we used this either. I don't think that's gonna help us, but it's strange that they're sitting here. Because that was evidence from the previous trial. Meerschaum Street. Uses bar soap as a sound. No. What's it called?
The loot was inside the soap all along.
Oh my gosh. It's the tea. Use in order to locate the hiding place of the Sikhs convicts hall.
The greatest treasure of Britain. He's hid 1,000 pounds worth of tea.
When they said nearly 1,000 pounds worth of loot, they meant the weight category versus the monetary type. It's actually worth only like 50 pence. But it's 1,000 pounds of it.
Think about how much tea weighs, though.
That's true.
Like a pound of tea would be a lot of tea.
This man just stuffed it into the walls, and it's in the entire building is just stuffed with tea in the walls. Fire
That'd be
hazard.
way more than 1,000 pounds in like cash value.
What do you propose we use in order to locate the hiding place of these convicts? Oh.
I mean, you did save.
I did save. I don't know, my brain keeps coming back to this. So I guess I should try it. Because I'm getting stuck on things today. But I don't... Oh.
What the fuck? If I'm not mistaken,
Are we actually going to use one of Sholmes' inventions now? And we're not going to be kicked out being like, that's not real evidence.
those are Mr. Shamspeare's handprints on the wall of his lodgings. That's right, my lord. Those are the result of the defense's independent investigation of the scene.
Based on a wonderful new discovery in the field of forensic science by the great detective, Mr. Sholmes.
A great detective? Is that some kind of joke? Do you really think I'm going to be daunted by a man with such a ridiculous title? Sholmes?
I should think that the great bard ought to recognize such a title when he hears one, Mr. Shamspeare. Yep. Anytime, I should just automatically assume that it's him.
Yeah.
Because, like, 90% of the time
It usually is him because he likes to be dramatic with how he enters. He doesn't just enter a room, he has to talk from behind the viewer's POV before making a grand
I was
entrance.
the lamp the entire time.
Oh
How did
my
you
God.
not notice?
I'll notice you next time, Sholmes. No, I won't be a lamp next time. It's too predictable now.
I was crammed inside this 2 cubic foot crate. How did you not see me?
How could you fit in there?
I was hiding inside the cash box for the gas pipe.
Oh no, you had tea dripping on you.
I eat the coins for sustenance.
For sustenance. Oh my god.
And nice and clean on the inside because they're covered in soap.
A true detox.
Perhaps we should compete for the honor of most ridiculous title.
Ah! 'Tis Sherlock Holmes himself! What are you doing here, great detective? Your usual haunts are the filthy back streets of the capital, are they not?
Oh, Mr. Reaper, it's been too long. And I see your complexion has worsened since last we met.
The vampirism is clung ever harder.
Mr. Sholmes. He does know Lord Van Zykes then. Well, enough to say something like that in any case. Mr. Sholmes. Though you may be heralded as great detective by the population at large, it does not give you the right to come and go in my courtroom as you see fit.
If I may, my lord. Mr. Sholmes' newly developed scientific method has helped us uncover vital clues in this case already.
Clues, you say? I call them skin prints, my lord. Method identifies every location touched by an individual under scrutiny. It's the method by which we were able to ascertain this gentleman's gas pipe activities. So we're calling them.
They're no longer literary debates, it's gas pipe activities now.
You need only a small sample of something the individual has previously touched to make an indicate a solution. In your case, sir, I used the teacup you had been holding elementary. I think I made an assumption about a comma that wasn't there. So now, Mr. Norihodo. Ah, yes? What am I to use as a sample to make the indicator solution this time? Thank you for offering to help, Mr. Sholmes. The convict was arrested. He was living in what is now Seki-san's room. Need a sample to help locate Sullivan's loot that's hidden in his old room. What form will the sample take?
Person a person.
Do we know somebody who's related to Sultan?
Oh, it has to just be something he's touched. It doesn't have to be DNA, I don't believe. I don't think it's a fingerprint in specific that Sholmes is looking for so much as something that's touched. My brain went to the key, but I don't think we have that as evidence.
Nope.
But I had to laugh when it said person to person. I'm like, oh. Who is Selden touched? Oh. We don't even know.
Who took the photo?
They said it was some random. Gyarados said it was some random passerby with a camera. So we have not specified that. I'm gonna take a... It's not a wild stab in the dark. But it's a... Indeed bold one.
You'll need something of Selden's in order to create the indicator solution to find his loot. And something the convict owned happens to be the possession of somebody listed in the court record.
Okay, so I think I was along the right lines.
On my word, Mr. Norauda, your powers of reasoning appear to be on the up. So, which particular person do you have in mind?
Look 2 spaces to your right, Mr. Sholmes.
From whom can we obtain possession of the late convict Selden to create the indicator solution? Miss Green.
Me? What do you want with me?
The key around your neck, if you please.
Sorry?
That key belonged to Selden. There will be remnants of secretions from the man's skin on its surface that we can use.
Oh my gosh.
So it is kind of DNA.
Okay, yeah. Skin
Very
secretions.
true.
I think I blocked that from my brain, but now I remember. I feel like we've said this before.
Otherwise, it's just like divination magic.
Yeah.
It like completely throws out the science aspect.
Yep.
That is the sample we need. Using it, we can create the indicator solution required for Mr. Sholmes' skin print seeker. Never mind the fact that it does throw out most of science anyway.
Well, there has to be a lick of it, right? It has to feel at least a little sciencey.
Right, but like, especially a metal key, I would have a hard time believing that enough of anything would remain on it.
Yeah.
Especially after she's been holding it this entire time.
Exactly, yeah.
You would just find her handprints.
Or his hand, or not his, Shamspear's handprints. Since he was the one in possession of it after leaving the prison, so. Selden would be seldom seen on that key.
And find out exactly what Selden touched in the room that he used to rent.
Ah!
Mr. Shamspear, as one great to another, I assure you. The late convict's hall is hidden somewhere in his former lodgings. I shall uncover it in no more than 30 minutes.
The judge's like, okay, time to take a recess.
So, Mr. Shamspear, the truth is well within our grasp now, and as such, you will never get your hands on Selden's stolen wealth. His half-metric ton of tea leaves.
In that case, I'll gladly let Mr. Sholmes have this key.
No! Give the key to me! The detective shan't have it!
It's over, Mr. Shamspear.
No! No!
You're out of options now. There's only one thing left for you to do. Admit your guilt.
Whoa. Oh, shameful spear, despair, be thy name.
Who's shooting confetti at this man?
I think
Ginny?
it's.
Is Ginny back?
I think it's coming from him.
I thought it'd be like the smoke gun,
The confetti gun.
but it's a confetti gun.
I never intended to kill the man. I just wanted to drive him out of the room. That's all.
You'd have time to find the convict's haul of stolen goods.
Yet after you killed the young man, you still didn't move into the room. I asked the landlord, of course. I pleaded with him, but he refused.
Why?
I was 3 months behind with the rent, for one thing.
Mr. Iredeb really has a lot to put up with.
And he had the gas repair work done immediately afterwards, putting the room out of action for a while. And then, this Japanese man swooped in at just the right moment to sign the new lease.
Poor Mr. Natsume. What unfortunate timing.
Then, 5 days ago, after the incident on Briar Road when the Japanese fellow got himself arrested, I thought I'd finally have my chance, but it wasn't to be. No, the scene was sealed off and guarded by the police night and day.
And, if I remember rightly, Mr. Shum spent the whole day in there reading books.
I couldn't even enter the room, let alone search for the loot.
Which is why, on the day Mr. Natsume was acquitted and returned to his room, you once again tried your trick of blowing air into the gas pipe that feeds the stove in his room.
Hey, you killed once. What's the second time, right?
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to you, however, that action would lead you into a deadly trap.
William Shakespeare. How does it go? To be or not to be? That is the question.
From Shakespeare's Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1.
Well, let me tell you, in your case, it's not to be. That is the answer. You deserve to die for what you've done.
uh,
At first, I really did think it was just a terrible accident. I'll never forget our conversation the night before Duncan died.
The gas supply in my new lodgings are a complete disaster, you know, Olive.
Gas supply?
Is it word? Yes, the stove always seemed to go out in the middle of the night, for some reason.
That's no joke.
They say it's the convict's curse.
Oh, Duncan. Please, don't stay there. I don't care how cheap it is.
Alright then, if it's that important to you, I'll start looking for a new place.
There are spare rooms at my house. Why don't you leave that horrible room tonight?
No, I'd better not. We said we'd wait until we graduated before we told our parents, remember?
That was the last time we ever spoke. That very night he fell victim to the gas. Only I know it was going to happen. I'd have insisted he left that horrible room that instant. But instead, all I've been left with is bitter regret. An attorney's badge is being thrown in my head. I stopped going to school. Something kept drawing me back to the house on Briar Road.
my gosh, that's where... I'm busy voice acting right now. I can't look at your attorney's badge.
I saw a stooped Eastern-looking man with a mustache coming out of the house one day when I was there. He walked up the road to Grub's Grubbery for some food, so I followed him and sat myself down next to him. He had some watery-looking soup and started to pick a quarrel with the publican.
Place is cursed, I tell you. Cursed! The ghost of that convict who used to live there is trying to suffocate me. I wake up in the middle of the night, but freezing to death because the stove has gone out. The room is full of gas and I can hardly breathe. The pipes have been checked. No problem there. It's like I'm the problem. That's what they're thinking.
how could that be? Duncan was gone and now this man had almost suffered the same fate. Could it really be a curse? And I remembered a rumor I'd heard about how the gas companies go around investigating the gas installations.
A rumor? You mean...
Yes, everybody's heard the stories, it seems, about how they go around checking the pipes.
How anything connected to the gas can be extinguished by blowing air into the pipework.
That's when it started. A little flicker of doubt in the back of my mind. It just wouldn't go away. Is it really an accident, though? Once I had had the idea, it wouldn't leave me alone. Plagued me day and night. So I bought this from one of the black markets in the East End.
Black market?
I'd never been. I just heard people talk about them. And you really can buy anything you can think of there. In some ways, being able to get my hands on this so easily made me even more determined. I had to find out one way or another. Was Duncan's death an accident? Or was it murder?
And your chosen method for establishing the truth was simple, but highly effective. Smear poison on the gas pipe you suspected the man of tampering with. And wait.
If Mr. Shamspeare was innocent, nothing would come of what you've done. But if he was guilty, you'd pay for his crimes dearly.
I found out the name of the man I suspected. William Shamspeare. And I wrote him this little note. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter, or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. If he'd done it, I knew that would worry him enough so he'd be sure to go. So I waited to see if it worked.
And of course, Mr. Shamspeare followed the instructions to the letter.
I worked out where the gas pipe was straight away. So I smeared a good amount of the poison I'd bought all around the mouth of the pipe. All the time praying that the devil's work wouldn't be done, and it was just some wild fantasy. Actually, no. All the time praying that the devil's work would be done, and that the culprit would get his just desserts.
"3 days ago, when you were first stood in the dock before me, this whole affair seemed relatively straightforward." "Yes, my lord. I certainly never imagined the depths of depravity that we would subsequently find lurking behind the scenes."
It has been a long road, finding Benny's friend.
"Oh, yes.
And one I certainly didn't envisage? And one I certainly didn't envisage walking with you.
Nevertheless, together we have reached the light at the end of the tunnel, as it were." "Objection!"
Shh, don't object here.
is screened.
Yes, my lord.
You will henceforth be stripped of your freedom. First, Soph.
What?
I don't know, you opened it and the first thing I saw was soap.
I know, it's just like, no, it's like, here. Your punishment is to keep a bar of soap in your mouth at all times. Stripped of your freedom?
What are you looking for?
I don't know. Oh, I guess I accidentally hit it. I didn't realize I'd hit it. I thought the judge was like, here, you're being stripped of your freedom. Suddenly opens court record. I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to pick? I didn't realize I touched it. Like, there was nothing in front of it, so I don't know what touched it, but...
Punishment for the attempted murder of Mr. William Shamspeare.
Yes, I know.
And you, Mr. Shamspeare, will be tried for the murder of Mr. Duncan Ross in cold blood. And the subsequent attempted murder of Mr. Soseki Natsume here present.
Mr. Naruto.
Yes?
Yesterday, at the hospital, when you and your friends stopped me from...
From unaliving yourself by drinking what was left in the poison bottle?
I wasn't myself. I can't even really remember what was going through my mind. To be or not to be, I suppose. That's a question that's so hard to answer, it seems.
Well, personally, I'm glad of your being here, Miss Green.
Oh?
And I'd like to believe it's a blessing Mr. Shamspeare didn't die when he ingested the poison. For your sake, at the very least.
Because of you, I choose life, not death. And now you've made the truth come out at last. Really, I can't thank you enough. Oh, Miss Green.
Mr. Soseki Natsume, get the fuck out of my courtroom.
Never will see you again.
Yes, my lord? Court declares that you are exonerated from all blame in this matter. Accordingly, I would call upon the ladies and gentlemen of the jury to present a verdict of not guilty.
We are in full agreement, my lord.
In that case, I hereby declare the defendant...
Yay!
That's a fire hazard, guys. Don't do that.
You don't know what a fire hazard is yet.
Clearly.
Only look behind them. they shoot fireballs into a scale. The jury, of all people, not even trained professionals, apparently random quote unquote people picked from the populace.
Also, there's a fire just in the middle of the courthouse not that long ago.
Yeah. Vin Sykes waves his hand in front of your face hypnotically. There is no fire hazards in the courthouse. Do not worry.
There is no fire in Ba Sing Se.
There's no fire in Ba Sing Se.
Court is adjourned.
You know what? This is a good spot for us to go ahead and take our hourly ad break to keep pre-roll ads off for you guys. So, if you guys will
Hey.
hang tight here just for a little bit. Let's see here. I know a way to solve this case. We need the Detective Michi. Shout out to Michi. Would have solved this way faster after looking yourself out, but we don't talk about that, of course. Of course. We're taking our ad break. Don't listen to Asfar. We'll be right back. Alright, back we are. Time to continue the, I guess, epilogue bit. What do we get here? 23rd February, 3:24 p.m. The Old Bailey, Defendants' Antechamber. Thanks for the celebrate.
Oh, yes, yes, at last. Divine justice duly done. Sir, justice doesn't start with a D. Divine justice? Dear fellow, if there were any divine justice in this world, you would shave that mustache. No, this has nothing to do with my mustache.
Some say that a luxuriant mustache is a sign of physical prowess, Mr. Shelms.
Have you never seen the word prowess before?
Did I not say?
You said prowess.
Did I say prowess? I don't know. I was going.
Yes.
I know. Oh my god! I said prowess. And now I can't. Prowess. Oh god.
Pirouette.
Pirouette. A great pirouette. Oh, prowess felt like a hard way of pronouncing it. Not hard, but like not difficult hard, but like a the sound.
Like an
how
old English way of doing it.
I guess I don't know. But I was trying to soften the way that the word was enunciated and emphasized by Sister. Apparently I failed, okay? I'm sorry.
Look up student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! Once again, you've saved me from doom! I'm very happy to have been able to help, Mr. Natsume. Congratulations on your acquittal. You're second in almost as many days. I was first acquainted with and gained affection for English literature whilst in our great homeland empire. And then, by a twist of fate, I was brought to the land that bore the fruit of that literature. Only the city of bricks and mortar became my prison. Try as I might, I never found my feet here. You look down. They're at the end of your legs.
I only see shoes, never feet. Take your shoes
I
off.
haven't taken these off in 3 years.
Take your shoes off. Not to make take your shoes off. I only see socks. Not to make take your socks off.
I feel like at that point we don't want him to take his shoes off.
Probably not, no.
In the end, I confined myself to my room and lived life through friendly old books.
You know what? I think he actually has Geta sandals on. So I think his feet are already out.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
You've had such a difficult time, haven't you?
Oh, but a week ago now. I dragged you out of that dark and dingy room of yours, did I not? You did, and I've seen more of life in this week than in all my years to date.
Shum's like, oh, you don't have to thank me, it's all good.
And for the first time, I feel I've begun to see the true face of the English that's so far been hiding from me behind the wall of fog. My dear fellow, there's nothing special about the true face of the English, as you put it. Wheresoever one goes in the world, humans are human. There are few genuine differences. Problems out here fighting racism. Yes, I think you're right. I've finally started to see that, and I've come to understand something. I worked out why I was attracted to English literature in the first place. It made me see that whatever our nationality, we humans all have the same hopes and fears. We're all just doing our best to live. Well said. I've come to feel the same way. I've made a decision too. Get the fuck out of here. Going to cut short. What? Don't. Sir? I don't like the place over your hand.
I'm going to cut short my study tour. Right here, right now.
This olive green gave me a good idea.
No!
Nope, wrong takeaway.
Stop! No! I've learned so much in the last few days. Not this, Natsume, please!
I'm going to cut short my study tour here and return to Japan. In a box. What?
Just when we become friends here in England. What a terrible shame.
Oh, I know. That does tug at my heartstrings, it really does. But I've decided I'd like to take everything I've learned here in Britain and write something of my own. Well, now your lodgings aren't going to try to kill you, so that would be a thing.
Let's knock on someone before you say that.
I'll hope of sorts, I suppose. About being a cat.
Oh my! So you'll be creating your own literature mission, Natsume. How wonderful!
Oh, well, no. I mean, I wouldn't presume to call it literature. Why not? And that is precisely the definition, Mr. Moustache. I suppose you're right. Yes. It will, in a way, be literature. But as of now, all I know is that I'd like to try my hand at writing. I have no delusions of grandeur.
I, for one, would love to read your work.
Problems would hit him with, if you write, you're a writer. Well, all things considered, it may be for the best. After all, we have once again emerged victorious. From the Battle of the Reaper. Ah, that's very true.
And there's no salvation for a person in the dock when the Reaper is the prosecutor.
Desire to return post-haste to the perceived safety of your homeland is one I quite understand.
Perceived.
I wonder if he makes it.
I have to wonder too.
My goodness, yes! Peace was such a terrifying prospect. Nobody would consider that cowardly, I'm quite sure.
Escaping certain doom, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to be lit on fire in a courtroom, do you?
This man's about to become the original death in Final Destination.
But that's... The only one I know is the truck one.
Oh, with the
With
logs. Yeah. I remember, I think I've only seen part of a Final Destination movie. There was one where there was a gymnast girl on the beam and she was doing like backflips and stuff on it, like walkovers and backflips and things. And I think she was vaulting off of it. So she'd finished her routine and was vaulting off and was flipping before she landed and landed on her neck. So like she was just she was like, what's the word? You know, like the scorpion? The scorpion position, like was it yoga or something? Her head was like, her face was on the ground, her body was above her, and like her legs were splayed above her head, but her neck was broken, I think. I remember seeing that as a kid. I'm like, oh, no. I should have watched that. Yeah, I've never actually watched a Final Destination movie. I feel like that would bother me too much.
Yeah, I've never been big on horror anyway.
If it's gonna be horror, it needs to be something a little more fantastical or what's the word? More thriller for me. I don't anything anything that seems a little too real, like it could be real. I probably am not going to like as much. The movie isn't horror, more like death. Yeah, indeed, I'm sure it is because that's the whole point of it, right? Final Destination. Everybody starts dying.
I mean, it was successful enough they kept making them. So
Well, you get movies like Fast and the Furious that are still coming out. But can we say it's? Can we say that it's just? I can't speak. Can we say that they're actually good movies? I don't know about that.
there are movies that can be so bad that everyone just watches them out of morbid curiosity, and they still do numbers as a result.
That's true. They're slop.
We're, we're gonna get to Fast and the Furious number 60, and it's just gonna be Vin Diesel doing wheelchair races.
Yeah, rocket powered. He's gonna become the rocket powered wheelchair grandpa from Happy Wheels. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. I haven't even watched a single Fast and the Furious movie, but just watching the trailers, I can see I'm like, one, this is not for me. Two, I'm like, this is not good.
I don't really watch movies, period.
it,
So
it honestly has been a while since I've actually watched a movie. I think the last movie I watched was my sister and I watched. No, oh, did we watch together? I can't remember if we watched it together or not, but I think the last movie that I watched was Glass Onion because I like.
that seems unfortunate to eat.
Thankfully, you don't eat it. Thankfully, it's only a
Uh,
murder mystery movie. That's kind of funny. Um, the more that I look at the things I consume in my life, the more I realize that I've had this whole like murder mystery detective trope kind of woven through a lot of stuff. Because that one's fun. I like Knives Out too. Glass Onion is a what's the word? It's a spin-off on Knives Out, if you've heard of that one.
Heard of it? Have not seen it.
Maybe we should watch it. I think they're fun and they're kind of hokey in a way, but like just it's you know how you're saying they're just some things are just so bad that they're people are morbidly curious and they're kind of fun to watch. I wouldn't say that it's bad. I think it's smart in certain ways, but like some of the characters are a little ridiculous. Um that I personally find it kind of funny and it's kind of like the actors are definitely like into their roles, so it hits that line of the actors are just confident enough, like they are confident in their portrayal of this ridiculous character that I believe it, you know, like I accept it as fact and proceed forward with that versus thinking, oh man, this is like just a terrible acting job, you know, like I know the actor's good, I just know that they're doing so good that they've made this character come to life. Daniel Craig is actually ridiculous. I know I love Daniel Craig's character so much. He is like the best part of Knives Out, honestly. Colonel Sanders Daniel Craig.
All I know about Daniel Craig is that he wanted to stop making 007 movies, but they just kept dragging him into them.
Ah, yep. But yeah, you and I should we should watch Knives Out and Glass Onion. I think with what's the word? Oh my god, I lost the thought. With like the whole murder mystery detective type of trope thing that we've already been doing with Ace Attorney and stuff like that. I think you would enjoy it. At the very least, even if it wasn't like, ooh, that was a great movie, you'd be like, you know what? I watched it once. I don't have to watch it again, but I had a good time watching it.
All that spare time that we have for just hanging out.
Yes. Need to schedule some hangouts. And make sure I don't fall asleep.
I haven't had to work all week, and everyone else has been busy or just wanted to do other things. I'm like, cool, great, thanks.
I'm sorry.
Not your fault. You got sponsored, so you had reason to be streaming more.
Yeah, Monday too, I just crash. Oh, sorry.
That's not why I'm leaving. I mean it. I just kind of moved past the sentiment.
Hmm.
And that was the case that we found ourselves embroiled in 6 months ago now.
Back to the present.
So Seki-san did indeed return to Japan and submitted a report about both cases to the government. It was on reading that report that Professor Mikotoba was prompted to visit the scholar. And barely any time later, Susato-san was given the news that she must return to Japan as well. My brain... I read Susato-san, but for some reason my brain read Sosaki. Soseki. And so, when it said she, I was like, hold on.
Hold on a second. Who are we talking about here?
In the back of a telegram stating falsely that her father had fallen gravely ill. The one possible explanation that comes to mind is what happened after the trial on the following day. The day that we uncovered the loot hidden by the now-deceased convict in his former lodgings.
Is it the Hound of the Baskervilles? Manuscript?
Isn't that supposed to be locked up in...
Windibank?
Well, I guess I don't remember when it was locked up in Windibanks. It could have been found here and then put there.
Oh my. Hi, Ultimo. Coming to stare at me. Yes, welcome in. 24th February, 10:13 a.m. Mr. Natsume's room.
Oh, well done, Mr. Shelms. How simply marvelous of you. To uncover the secret hiding place in just one day.
Isn't it supposed to take 30 minutes?
Shh, he's still a genius, Mr. Naruhodo. Be quiet.
As I believe I told you, my dear fellows, skin prints are extremely useful in such situations.
Indeed, Mr. Shelms. Mr. Herlock Shelms.
Herlock Shelms. Wouldn't you agree, Gregson?
Not very happy, I don't think.
No.
Rex has been happily munching in agreement this whole time, you know, Hurley. Happily? I think perhaps humorlessly might be closer to the truth.
So, it transpires the man fashioned a hiding place in the ceiling.
Not a detective, but I swear that comes from something. Herlock Sholmes? Yeah, it was, I forgot the author's name, but the author that penned Arsène Lupin originally used Sherlock Holmes, and they didn't really have copyright back then, but even still, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was like, don't use my character. And so the Arsène Lupin author was like, okay, I won't use your character, and named and named his Arsene's rival Herlock Sholmes. Or Sholmes.
I really need to remember it more often. It's Maurice LeBlanc.
Maurice LeBlanc.
The reason why I should remember it is because LeBlanc is
Cafe.
the name of the cafe in Persona 5.
Yep. Oh, you know, okay, I saw the joke there, but I wasn't sure if it was a joke of just like a little bit of information you knew, right? Because one could extrapolate that Herlock Sholmes is also a detective, but I just wanted you to understand, okay? Did I click through that? I didn't mean to click through that. There's a log.
And what's in it? What exactly is the loot?
God damn it!
And you click through that.
And I clicked that! Why do I got a happy trigger finger? Trigger happy finger.
Let us look then. If you're ready, let's examine the late burglar's hall. What the? What is that?
A collar?
Oh.
It looks to be some sort of neckband or collar.
A collar? It's huge, though.
And look at all the gemstones set in it. I can see why it was claimed to be worth £1,000. Perhaps I could have it as a belt.
Oh, have you noticed the inside there? There's some dark stains.
You don't think it could be blood, do you? I mean, there's quite a lot of it.
Nah, it's just red Kool-Aid.
On second thoughts, perhaps I won't have it as a belt.
Then, of course, there's the emblem here. A large letter B and a small crown.
What does it signify, do you think? Certainly not basketballs.
Oh, I hadn't noticed that. I feel as though I've seen that emblem somewhere before, you know. Where could it have been?
That's enough of that, I think. What? What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes?
Don't examine anything any further. We're done. We're done being detectives. Time to go home.
All the colors drained from his face. Well, Inspector, I believe you ought to be taking this on to you. Could be valuable evidence, after all. It must be kept safely under lock and key. Sholmes, who did you kill?
With a collar. Shelves.
Oh. Yes. Get your rubber hands off that, you lot, and hand it over. Now. I'd never seen a collar that large before. A big-ass dog. And all those jewels certainly look to be extremely valuable. That's not what stood out to me the most. At least, not once I'd noticed it. Those dark marks on the inside of the collar. Those stains. Could they really have been blood?
Well, that was a funny case, wasn't it? But it's all buttoned up now.
Yes, funny. There was a murder and 2 different attempted murders. Hilarious.
Absolutely. Don't you think so, Runa?
And you look very pleased, Iris.
I am, because I was starting to wonder when I could use it. What I could use as the basis for this month's story in the magazine. But this case would be perfect. It's been so fascinating.
You're talking about the latest installment of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I presume.
The mystery of the knife in the mist, and the mustached man and the convict's curse, perhaps. I could make it a 2-part story. Oh, I can't wait.
A word, please, Iris.
Yes? What is it, Hurley?
I'm sorry, but you can't write about this case. It's out of the question.
What? Why not? It's a great case.
But I shall have to insist that you limit yourself to the first of your 2 titles. The second must never be written. Is that clear?
Yes.
こうして漱石さんの2つ目の事件は闇に葬られた。 今ならわかる気がする。
Suddenly voice acting.
Suddenly voice acting.
なぜあの時ホームズさんが事件の発表を禁じたのか。全てが一つにつながるにはもう少し時間が必要だった。物語が再び動き出したのは佐藤さんの手紙が届いて2ヶ月後。その事件はかのロンドン万博の最中に起こったのだった。
Oh yeah, the great exhibition that we've been teased on since the beginning of the game.
Yeah. Kept having to look at
Maybe-
that dang poster in the
in the
carriage.
carriage car, yeah. Key of knowledge. Let's save. I don't even know what's next. The Return of the Great Departed Soul. Final chapter. 3 more.
Yep.
Pow. That looks like a death ray. I'm just saying.
The
19世紀
angriest
末
megaphone.
大帝都ロンドンで開催された万国博覧会を知らぬ者はないだろう。世界の文化、最新の科学技術がハイドパークの特設会場に集められた。来場者総数5000万人を超えた今世紀最後にして最大の祭典は
A million visitors.
全世界の人々に強烈な印象を刻み込み、大成功のうちに終わったのだった。しかしその会期中に起きたあの大惨事の真相解明の裏側に我が友シャーロック・ホームズの活躍があったことを知る者は少ない。彼はあの大事故の裏に幾重にも隠された真実を暴き出したのである。ハイドパークにそびえ立ったロンドン万国博覧会の象徴ともいえるあの水晶塔のごとき孤高にして凍結した名推理によって。
ロンドン万国博覧会、会場はあふれんばかりの人だかり。ロンドンには珍しい晴天のもと、驚異の科学実験が行われようとしています。
来るべき20世紀、蒸気機関と電気技術は世界を制する。馬車は姿を消し、自動車が行き交う。海を渡る船は羽を持ち、大空を飛ぶ。
Playful steampunk.
本日は皆様にさらに遠い未来の実験をお目にかけましょう。超電気式瞬間移動技術、世界で初めての実験であります。
Super high voltage. Oh, I'm so excited.
What could go wrong?
人体を
So that is a
巨
death
大
ray.
な
Ew, Death Ray.
瞬時に分解して別の場所へ転送。
Disassemble.
そして
Not
その
relocated.
情報を計算して元の姿に合成する驚くべき技術。
Sir, you are about to
And
die.
die. You got the actor is going to be our client.
これより一瞬の後、この紳士は驚くべき空間を超える旅をする。
Why do you gotta do that with a guy?
あの水晶塔に転送されるの
Why do
です。
you gotta do that with some dude? Do it with like an object.
No, it has to be a human. Proves the point. It's the great exhibition after all, right? Oh my. Yosh? All goes wrong.
Turn it off, turn it off.
22nd October, 9:36 a.m. 9:63 a.m. 9:63 a.m. indeed. Chums is sweet.
Bruno! Bruno, are you listening?
Oh, sorry. What was that, Iris?
What's the matter with you? You've been miles away all morning. Don't you like what I cooked for breakfast?
No, that's not it at all. What were we talking about again?
Today's paper! It's full of news about the great exhibition again.
Ah, yes, the Great Exhibition. I'd like to go sometime.
You're really not your usual self today. You seem very down. Don't you agree, Hurley?
Did you say something, Iris?
Oh gosh, you're even more down.
Wag! Alright.
That scared me. Oh my god, and then this right after High Necro between Shulms having his like manic like pendulum swing there real quick, and then the sounds that came with that, my phone also started going I'm like, oh my god,
Oh.
it's very close to me. suddenly intense action, I guess. Oh my gosh.
When did you arrive, Mr. Naruhodo?
Have you woken up, Shums?
I've been here for about half an hour already. We had breakfast together. What? Why didn't you mention it before? I might have known I was here, because breakfast? Iris is quite right. You're clearly lacking in vim. So much so that I didn't notice your presence. Thanks.
You were... you were in even worse state there just a second though, Shums. You have no room to talk.
Of course, I could deduce the reason perfectly well with some simple observations. What? Let's see. Yes, for example, your tousled hair this morning with all its unruly spikes. We're doing this again.
Mm-hmm.
Plainly can be deduced, therefore, that... let me stop you there, Mr. Sholmes, because I think I can see where this is going. My hair always looks like this. It always has, ever since we first met, in fact. Oh, really? How interesting. It just doesn't look like a haircut as such, I suppose. Thanks again. It crossed my mind recently, and it's been 6 months now.
6 months?
Since I was forbidden from working in court. So I've been wondering how much longer I'm going to be banned.
Oh, well, that would explain why you seem rather glum. Don't you agree, Hurley?
Again with this.
Hmm? Did you say something, Iris? Ah, back to milking.
He got just enough energy to insult your haircut, and then he lost it.
What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes today? Seems even more down in the dumps than me.
I know, and the great exhibition is open. You'd think he'd be excited. Oh, why don't we all go see it together?
I want to, of course I do, but I can't. Not for the time being. Are you also afraid of the time being?
No, he's afraid of that death ray.
Why not? Why not? Why not? Because I'm a great detective after all. So you're embroiled in some tricky case that you can't be distracted from? Is that it?
I don't remember hearing that you're working on a case, Hurley.
I suppose I should try to find out what's going on.
Hold it! Are we really doing a recap?
Half a year ago now. I took up in defense of a young girl in a trial heard at the Old Bailey. What at first seemed like a simple case of murder that took place at a London pawnbrokery turned out to be one part of a much more far-reaching plot that involved the British government. During the course of the trial, it was found that I made an unavoidable yet at the same time unforgivable mistake. Words fail me. The situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, my lord. I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial. Of course, my lord. What did we do?
We saved, McGilded. So we had to bring it to light that he was guilty. To save Ginny.
Oh.
And so that's what we did.
I didn't think we did anything wrong in that, though.
No. Was it? Was there specifically
I know
evidence or
that-
something? I think there was
I
something
know
to do
that
with evidence.
Crime scene got tampered with, but Ryunosuke didn't do that.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think there was a certain... What's the word? Level of responsibility that he, in being the defense attorney and presenting certain evidence in a certain way and making arguments, I think he's responsible for what happens afterwards, irregardless if he was the one to do it. It's the same as like presenting false evidence in court. If the let's say the prosecution submits false evidence, at least an ace attorney, right? They don't know it. They present in court. They're the one that presented that, so therefore they have to take responsibility for bringing that particular thing into the conversation, irregardless if they actually falsified the evidence or not. Oh my god, Tomo's going off. So I think we had to take responsibility for, I forgot specifically what it was, but we had to take responsibility for something or other, and the mistake that we made where we let McGilda get off.
Okay.
Forgot what it was. That was last game. That was like 2 months ago.
In the end, I had my right to represent people in court revoked. I still thought I had to spend my time in research and study, so that's what I've been doing.
You have, haven't you, Bruno? Reading all those big fat tomes about British law up in your room, and the notes about Sholmes' old cases.
Brewing Iris's special blends of tea, fetching my daily bread for me. You become something of a manservant around here. start on the silverware next, Master Naruhodo. Well, I'm thinking of going to ask the powers that be to reconsider. Specifically Lord Strongheart, of the British Supreme Court on Whitehall.
Lord Strongheart?
Ah, the delightful Lord Chief Justice. My favourite fellow. He's not mine either, but he's the man I have to talk to. He's the only one who can grant permission for me to start working in the courts again. I came to Britain to become the best lawyer I could. And I can't do that just by sitting around here. The whole of London has been swept up in this great exhibition, hasn't it? The most advanced science, the most modern technology, the finest works of art, and feats of engineering.
Beasts of engineering. Mmm, this gear, delicious.
He made one with the
What a scrumptious schematic.
Chromatic. The next 6 months, our capital will be showcasing these things, and the world will be watching.
Do you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to look down on London from one of those lovely balloons.
Look down? On? Do you mean those things... fly?
Yes, of course. They fly high in the sky and don't even need wings to do it. All you need is hot air.
But how? How does hot air have anything to do with flying? It makes no sense. I can't understand it at all.
That's true of a lot of new scientific discoveries. Most people can't understand them at first. But in 100 years' time, all these things would be just common knowledge.
I suppose they might be.
Mind you, some of the science being demonstrated seems very questionable. Something went wrong on the open experimentation stage yesterday, apparently. There was a huge explosion. Damn, I wish I'd seen it though. I'd love to see how bad some of these scam experiments really are.
Says the innocent 10-year-old girl. See here? Every page of this paper carries some article or other about the Great Exhibition. But the brighter things shine, the darker the shadows that are cast behind them. Personally, I find myself drawn to the darkness, to the impenetrable. That is my proper atmosphere.
The Great
It's
Exhibition.
weird how many of his emotes are just, like, based on whether or not he still has a hat on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rather not based on, but is still used irrespective of whether or not he has a hat on, I should say.
Yeah. The Great Exhibition newspaper has been entered into the court record. You know, maybe it's like I don't know if you wear glasses or if you've worn glasses. But at least for me at least, it's whenever I wear glasses most of the time. So whenever I wear contacts, I have the instinctual urge to push up my glasses. Even though I don't have them on. Maybe this is what he's doing. Maybe he has like I have phantom glasses actions, maybe he has phantom hat actions, you know? Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. Could be. Shadows cast behind. Is that a metaphorical way of referring to the back page of the paper?
I don't think so.
Do we need to look at the back of the paper?
We look at the back of the paper. Oh, wrong place.
Look at my attorney's badge.
Well.
Well. So many glowing reports about the Great Exhibition and everything that's going on there. Other than this rather gloomy looking one, that is. Wait, what?
What's the matter, Runo?
Reaper attacked. That's Lord Van Zykes. Are we going to defend him in court?
We do defend him in court. That's one of my spoilers. I saw from the very beginning.
Mr. Sholmes was talking about. I felt like it had to happen at some point. Anyway,
Probably-
'cause he's our fucking Edgeworth now.
That's not the one that I'm pissed off over. That was the secondary one I found after I found the first one. So I'm still waiting on this one that I've been sitting on for months now. Soon, perhaps. Soon.
Does he know anymore, I wonder? Tell me about this lost cat.
Let's talk about your gloomy mood first, though.
Are you investigating a particularly tricky case at the moment, Mr. Sholmes? You could say that, I suppose. Nothing more to add? That's not like you. What sort of case? Quiet, Mr. Naruhodo. We must not discuss it here. You never know who might be listening.
In your own home? I think you should do something about that, Sholmes.
You're acting very strangely, Hurley.
What do you mean, Eris?
Usually, the more mysterious and complicated the cases, the better Hurley's mood.
Oh,
Is it really a case that's bothering you?
Eris, please, you mustn't exercise your astute powers of observation and deduction on me without invitation. What I always say, put yourself in the shoes of the individual about whom you're making deductions.
I don't know if you even do that, sir.
Do as I say and all that. You say that, do you? You, Mr. Sholmes? Never mind. Once I've had a cup of tea, I must make my way at once to the crime scene. Oh. That's a deep sigh. It's hard to sigh in British.
It's hard to sigh in British.
Yeah.
I understand, though.
It's like the subtitles in the old
Yes.
Spanish soap operas, like laughs in Spanish.
Laughs in Spanish, yes.
It says in the paper that Lord Van Zykes was attacked. That's terrible. You know the legend of the Reaper of the Bailey, of course, don't you? Only too well, in fact. Yes. Prosecutor Beric Van Zykes. They say that if the Reaper is the prosecutor in a case, there's no salvation for whoever's on the dock. Even if the defendant is found not guilty. Once the Reaper has someone in his sights, one way or another, that person's time left on this earth will be short. London's finest rogues always find ways around the law. They'll stop at nothing to secure an acquittal at trial. Falsifying evidence, paying sham witnesses, threatening jurors, bribing judges. But even such devious tactics as these cannot save them from the hand of the Reaper. As you've experienced yourself, haven't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I've seen the Reaper's retribution at work.
Retribution! That's the only thing I think of. That's what I've been told Dealix shouts since old.
Oh. Many of these criminal rogues are reckless and quite unafraid to die. Leader among the fraternity is seen to have been taken by the Reaper. Retaliation like this does occur. Really? The capital has a never-ending supply of such scoundrels. So, do you mean Lord Van Zykes has been attacked like this before? This isn't the first time? He's quite an accomplished combatant, you know. He doesn't take these attacks lying down. Although, it seems that his assailants were armed with guns this time. Oh my goodness. Is he alright then? Is Lord Van Zykes hurt? How do you fellow? On earth would I know?
You know everything, Mr. Sholmes.
Because you're already investigating it, Mr. Sholmes.
In the article here it says, why did I hit that button again? I didn't even touch it. As to what of Lord Van Zykes and his condition, all will be revealed in tomorrow morning's edition.
Oh, I see. Well, we shall have to be patient then.
Or we can go to the hospital.
No. I can't wait until tomorrow. He has to go visit his
He
boyfriend.
has to go visit his boyfriend. His boyfriend's hurt. Or potentially hurt.
In that case, you shall have to inquire with somebody in the know. But who?
Me, of course.
Lord Strongheart, perhaps? Male Strong? Male?
Maelstrom? Yeah, Maelstrom?
Well, I must be leaving now. You get dressed like a sim. You just spin around and you're suited up and good to go.
Yeah. The Mysteries of Mr. Sholmes.
Yes, understood. See you later, Mr. Sholmes. Oh, you really are a shameless liar sometimes, my dear fellow. What? You seek to put me off my guard and follow me, don't you? Well, you'll be wasting your time. I don't even know where I'm going. Thought it hadn't crossed my mind, but now I'm wondering where you're going. Well then, see you later indeed. Listen to him, he's still laughing on his way out of the door. I envisioned Herlock crawling through the cat door for some reason.
Well, they gotta get the most out of their cat flap-matic, you know?
Yeah.
Alright then, Rona. Let's get going.
Oh, Iris. What are you wearing?
I wanted to look like a hot air balloon. I got changed to go to the Great Exhibition. You're going to take me.
What? But I was just about to go to the Supreme Court.
Oh, we can go to the exhibition after. Oh, that sounds fun too. You're going to take me there then.
Alright, fine. Just cover that weapon, would you?
Of course. And at the Supreme Court, then we'll go to see the Great Exhibition.
To investigate a murder.
Of course. A new location has been added.
Wham. Gotta remember how to voice Strongheart. Though I guess I don't really, because we see him so infrequently that if I did just change it up, no one would have noticed.
And even still, even if we saw him just 30 minutes ago, if the voice changed, the voice changes. That's how it be.
I've changed voices as I'm talking as a character.
I agree, me too. 22nd October, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice Office.
Been about 6 months now since I was last here. Some things never change, like the sense of foreboding I always seem to feel in this place. It doesn't seem to be bothering Iris at all, though. She's happily reading over there. Y'all not got, like, chairs?
There's one.
We love this place. I always find so many interesting books here.
Of course. I was forgetting that you've been here before. Time we came here 6 months ago. He really likes to just flash back to that.
I gotta remember what's happened 6 months ago.
When Susato-san was given the news that she was to return to Japan. From that telegram saying that her father had fallen deathly ill, but was actually not true. Also, I have to wonder if there's someone on staff that just releases doves every time somebody walks into this room.
You know, that is also a thought. Also, I just looked at the time here. So,
Yeah.
before we get, we'll give Soph some time to think on how he wants to voice Strongheart. So, if you guys will hang, we'll give you some time to prepare. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and take our hourly ad break here to keep pre-roll ads off for you guys. So if you'll hang tight here for just a second, we'll be right back. And we are back from our ad break now. I kind of timed out there a little bit. Lead us off, Soph.
I totally, absolutely practiced this man's voice during the ad break.
Yep, that's definitely what we did during the ad break.
Oh, I understand you wish to speak with me. Oh, look, Strongheart. I trust you've been keeping well? Let's see. Since you arrived and requested an audience, it's been 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 26 seconds. I've kept you waiting a while. My apologies.
We've been waiting 4 hours. 4.5 hours?
Get a lot of reading in, I guess.
I know, I was about to say, I'm like, Iris really did have time to read.
Yeah. Oh, no, not at all. I like nothing more than standing around staring into space. I do it in court every day.
That
like to go back.
that wide-eyed look.
Good to know. Good to know that doesn't appear to bother him at all. Yeah, Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of London. He's the man who allowed me to start practicing as a defense lawyer when I arrived in Britain as a student.
It's a
Sir,
second
this is
game.
not blue parentheses, this implies that you're telling it directly to him.
He's narrating. Strongheart is like, who are you talking to? Are you telling me this? I know.
You need only savor the air for a moment in this grand office to understand his preeminent status. As you will be aware, the Great Exhibition of London is now underway at last. We're extremely busy as a result, policing the grounds, scouting the new technologies, dealing with petty crime. And furthermore, as of next month, we shall open the International Forensic Science Symposium. Oh, I've not heard about that. Investigating authorities from 40 countries around the globe will be taking part, including from your own land. Forensic science is the future. The world must embrace it. As with a hosting nation, I have much to do. It is my highest priority. Others must wait for my attention as a result, so be it. Well, it's nice to know where I stand. So, you wish to consult with me? Of course, I can very well imagine what this is about. Ah, well, thank you for agreeing to this meeting, my lord. I won't be allowed to start working as a defense lawyer again in court. That's what brought me here today. But actually, there's something else playing in my mind that, as it happens,
Can I make...
since I've had the last 4.5 hours to think about it.
Alright. Can I have 2 requests, my lord?
Only time enough for one. Gonna have to wait 4.5 more hours.
I mean, just really having a mental debate here, be like, shit! Fine, tell me about Van Sykes. I'll ask you about becoming a lawyer again later.
Right now, just take a deep breath and come out with it.
Oof, leave.
Gotta go.
I actually came here today to ask for your permission. To take Van Sykes' hand in marriage. Go on. 6 months ago, my right to work in court as a lawyer was revoked, and I was told to spend my time studying. Obviously, I'm very sorry for what happened, but the thing is... it made me understand what it really means to defend somebody under the rules of a foreign justice system. And I just really want to have another go. Please, permit me to enter the courtroom again. Mr. Norihodo. Yes? Here it comes.
We're gonna get smacked with a cane.
As it just so happens, I had a case open up. I'm sure you haven't forgotten your position here, have you? At best, you're a substitute for your compatriot. This was never your intended role.
Hmm.
Well, that's true. Japanese government actually sent my best friend on this duty tour, not me. Should have been Kazuma. He was so determined to bring change to our own justice system at home. That was his calling. That tragic accident hadn't happened. If I didn't trip over a cat clumsily and break his neck, I wouldn't be here in this office now. Mr. Silgi is my best friend, you see. That's why I can't leave it unfinished. I have to fulfill his calling for him. His calling, you say? Has it never occurred to you? Perhaps you know nothing of his true calling? Sorry? The mission with which that young law student was charged. What do you suppose it really was? What do you mean? Mission? It's not making any sense. Never mind. I've read all the reports you've submitted over the past 6 months. Clear to me that you regret your actions and have been studiously obeying your revised instructions. Do you mean... As of this moment, I reinstate your license to practice law here in Great Britain. Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's wonderful news, Reno.
In fact, I believe I have the perfect case to mark your comeback.
There it is.
Curious. Yep. You'll consider it, I hope.
Well, the last time you gave me one of these, it was a special.
I thought he gave us both that and the olive green one.
Did he give us the olive green one?
Or not the first Natsune one.
No, he might have. Just because he's like, oh, I feel like he said something along the lines of like, you might feel right at home, or like, the Natsume might feel right at home, something like that.
Yeah. I guess the only case that I really accepted on our own accord was helping Ginny in the first game.
Yeah.
And we had to like force her into it.
Yeah. I'm like, Ginny! Let us defend you!
Believe in the power of friendship.
Please, Ginny. It'll be alright.
Of course. Please, tell me more. Describe it as a curious affair. Yes, that's right. I believe it was reported in the press. Are you aware that it was a serious accident at the Great Exhibition today? Oh, no.
Yes, I read about it. A professor from Germany tried to carry out a crazy experiment. Let me see. How was it described? Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, I think.
Instantaneous kinesis? The fact that you were able to just rattle that back is impressive.
Good job, Inosuke.
As in moving things with a click of the fingers?
He's had 6 months to learn English vocabulary.
I know people who've spoken English their whole lives, and if they heard me say instantaneous kinesis off the cuff, would not be able to repeat it back to me.
Yeah.
That's right. It's just what my herba blends did. A dash of devil may care.
I've never understood what that phrase meant.
I don't know. I don't have the brain to ponder. I don't have the brain to ponder that right now. I'll look it up later and think about it.
Whatever this serious accident was exactly, it's clearly captured Iris's imagination. Not that that takes much. Her being an author and all. It's an unfortunate business. A large explosion engulfed the public's experimentation stage and a man lost his life. Certain Mr. Odie Asman.
Odie Asman.
Yep.
Odie.
Odious man?
Odious man?
Was he a stinky boy?
Odie ass man.
Inventor and a well-known figure in society. Large explosion.
A man died.
The man responsible for the experiment was Professor Albert Hairbrain. There's your problem.
There's your problem right there. You let a man with that last name do anything in regards to anything dangerous. Oh.
He was detained immediately after the incident and is due to appear in court tomorrow. The charge of murder. What? Murder? For blowing a man up? Preposterous. If you intend to take on his defense, you should hurry to meet with him at the prison. There's very little time left for you to carry out any kind of investigation.
You seem to like to give me things like this where I have no chance of properly piecing things together.
Great exhibition. Scientific experiment gone wrong. And murder? In my ace, attorney?
Never.
Your first clue was that the newspaper went into your court record. Fell out of my depth before I've even started. Still, you should be used to that.
We should go to the prison straight away then, and try to meet with this German professor. Don't you think?
Definitely. Oh yes, one more thing about the case. There's a connection with our mutual acquaintance, Reaper. Oh, with Lord Van Sykes? How?
Not going to say anything. We're going to talk about the Forensic Science Symposium again. Not again, but instead.
All sorts of conferences have been taking place around the world to coincide with the Great Exhibition. And next month, the largest and most important of them all will take place at last. The International Forensic Science Symposium. It does seem as though criminal investigation needs to embrace scientific methods, doesn't it? Exactly! I was waiting for him to just throw his arms wide again. It's like his favorite subject. London, the global epicenter of culture, science and wealth, now has a population exceeding 6 million. Sadly, crime in the capital is growing at a similarly startling rate. And stop committing crimes.
Easy.
So it's imperative that we use the latest scientific methods to investigate and resolve cases as efficiently as possible. We're implementing a 3-day rule. If you take more than 3 days in court, you're automatically found guilty.
Guilty until proven innocent.
is what's known as forensic science, isn't it? Exactly. The future of policing. Regrettably, however, Britain is currently dragging its feet when it comes to the adoption of forensic methods. I had sort of noticed, actually. Oh dear, that's alarming. Exactly. Extremely alarming.
Why are you doing this, Iris?
If I were Her Majesty's Attorney General, you can be sure numbers of crimes committed and resolved in London will be very different to the current figures. And I can cite 12 solid arguments and 223 individual reasons to support my claim. Somehow not surprised. Sorry. By way of apology for keeping you waiting earlier, I shall detail everyone now.
Oh no.
Aren't you busy with, like, a lot of stuff?
Yeah?
What?
Oh, how fascinating.
Iris, no.
It all began 15 years ago. I was... Right.
We're being isekai'd.
I have to wonder if this man is not set up to seem very suspicious, just to, like, pull the rug on you.
I have to wonder, yeah. Because that's what I kind of felt like at first with him, where he just felt like the it person, you know? Like, not the it person, but one of the it people. That just felt very, and you know, it felt too good to be true.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Van Zykes is set up at the beginning to be like, ah, yes, he kills people.
Yeah.
When he doesn't get his way.
Yeah. And I don't think he's like that.
And off the cuff, I was like, no, he fucking doesn't.
Yeah. He's rude. He's rude ass, but I don't think he goes about killing people whenever he has a disagreement with them.
He has had his heart broken in the past, that's all.
Yes. And I have faith in him, okay? I've had faith in him from the beginning. Even whenever he slowly started getting ruder and ruder, okay?
Ryunosuke can fix it. And not in the Arya can fix questionable favorites.
Ryunosuke can actually fix him. Like, not just... Ryunosuke... Here, let's change this. Ryunosuke can help him. Ryunosuke is not going to fix him. Ryunosuke is going to help him. Fix him. Fix him has two negative connotations nowadays. He will help him.
And that more or less sums up my feelings on the matter. In the simplest of terms, of course.
Ah, thanks. And that was only point 1.
My 77-slide PowerPoint presentation.
77? I feel like 7,700 maybe.
I just pulled the number because Arya made another slideshow that has 77 slides.
Ah,
Yep.
lots to talk about.
Yep. Essentially, to formally establish a forensic investigation division within Scotland Yard. That is my mission. Oh, right. Yes, that's wonderful. Exactly. Wonderful is precisely what it will be. Iris isn't paying attention at all. She's got her nose in another book now. She's at that age where you can read an entire book in like half an hour.
Yep.
Oh, is it over? Did you learn anything useful?
I've never been able to read a book in half an hour. I actually drifted off for the most part. He's surprisingly ardent about forensic science.
Depends on how thick the book is. it's on
I've
the
never been able to speed read.
depends how thick the book is. If it's on the thinner side, not necessarily like I would say what, like 1/8 of an inch thick, but if it's closer to like 1/4 to 1/2 an inch, I might be able to read it in 30 minutes, depending. I have to be like really into the story. What? What? Hey. Hey. Hey.
Oh, that reminds me. Have you seen this? Reports of the overwhelming success of the Great Exhibition? Of course. No, not that. Story on the back page. What story? I can't read. The Reaper attacked. Oh, that. You've enjoyed some victories in court against my #1 prosecutor, have you not?
Every time.
Even when I didn't want to.
Even when I didn't want to.
Oh, Mr. Reaper. What happened to him? He wasn't killed, was he?
There is no need for concern. Lord Van Zykes would not be so easily dispatched, I assure you. Can you tell us what happened? I'd really love to know. Very well. If it interests you. It all started when I was very young.
No! Please, no.
It does. Strangely. Fortunately, Lord Van Zykes emerged from the attack unscathed. Street ruffians are no match for that man. He's a very capable fighter. But that's incredible. They were armed with guns. He cut the bullets in twain.
Mhm.
How was the attack, though? Do we know?
I could think of one of many reasons.
Related to events that occurred a month ago. The leader of one of the capital's criminal organizations was indicted and prosecuted by Van Zykes. Van Zykes is cheating on us?
Oh, man.
With another defense attorney?
With another defense attorney! He went back to court specifically for McGill to found us and only took up cases with us, and he's still in court even after we've been dismissed? For shame. We'll have to talk to him about this when we see him.
What? The man was acquitted. I've no doubt large sums of money were involved behind the scenes.
Did he die?
Large sums of money? A deplorable situation. Members of the jury were bribed, it seems. What? No, those fine folk?
No.
They could never. Especially not the guy who was constantly talking about if he doesn't bring money home, his wife is going to poison him.
Yeah.
However, despite winning his freedom, the man in question met a dramatic end yesterday. But you're not suggesting that it was the work of the Reaper, surely?
Who can say?
The victim's henchmen certainly seem to think so. He's a man by the name of Asman. Mr. Odie Asman.
Man, he really was an ass man. Shaking my head.
Did you say ass man?
That's the man who died in the big explosion at the Great Exhibition.
Yes, known publicly as an investor, but in reality, the head of a significant criminal organization. So yes, an investor. Unbelievable. I wonder, could I ask you something, Lord Strongheart? Why me? How do you use Lord Van Zykes as a prosecutor? He's so bad at it. All the criminals who manage to get off in court then meet with mysterious ends outside of the courtroom. Well, yeah, you're not supposed to be getting off in court. That's why this is not a sponsored stream.
And that's why it's not a sponsored stream.
Fearful of that fate, they seek to strike at Lord Van Zyg's first. Now there's no evidence that he actually is the Reaper in that sense, but still. Something's clearly going on here. Get the fuck out.
You know too much, you're asking too many questions. Get out, get out, get out!
None
You
of the
have,
gears.
you have a client to see, go to the person now!
I have Van Zyg's work for the prosecution service for 2 reasons. Firstly, that man is the best prosecutor in the capital, bar none.
Are you sure about that?
I don't want to see how the rest of them operate. Every instance that I've heard of this man being in court, he lost.
Yeah.
Secondly, any deaths of criminals that have occurred outside the courtroom following his trials have nothing to do with him. But that doesn't make sense. How can you explain the way so many have died if not by someone's hand?
Cause someone's using him as the scapegoat? They're trying to pin on him on purpose?
No, you misunderstand. It was someone else's hand.
Wait, Van Zyg's had someone else's hand?
No! Guilty.
Guilty.
Van Zyg's may have earned himself the moniker of the Reaper, but he is no killer. So we will continue to prosecute on behalf of the Crown. Unless he wishes to otherwise, of course. Well, I must be leaving for my next engagement. You're engaged?
Again?
I'm already 11 hours and 16 minutes late. My colleagues may be starting to fit it. 11 hours late? That's quite something. That meeting had already started when I arrived back here for this engagement with you.
We've been here for 11 hours?
I mean, he went through his entire PowerPoint presentation.
I know he did.
Lateness was inevitable. Time stops for no man. I'm sure it stopped for me during those 12 solid arguments and 227 reasons. 223 reasons.
Might as well have
Where
been
that's coming from.
227 reasons.
Lost count halfway through.
Mm.
Oh, yes. Where would I find Lord Van Zyg's now? I would assume he's at his office.
Can we go see his office?
Right. I'll go ask him about the attack in person. I want to get this straight from a horse's mouth.
Dang,
Yeah,
I know
horse.
I know he cheated on you, but Reno's gay.
Away with you now. I'm leaving Prosecutor Harebrain's defense. Professor Harebrain's defense entirely in your hands. Of course, yes. Thank you very much, my lord. We need to go from Soph deep voice to Michi deep voice.
Ah, my turn.
I think I went through like 3 voices of that man.
It's okay.
Just as well, we're not going to see him again for another like 4 weeks.
Yeah. And Zykes. Yes. Oh my god. Oh man. 22nd October. Prosecutor's office. I don't know what I was expecting, but I was not expecting a floor-to-ceiling length portrait of himself, presumably.
With the angle, it reminds me of the office from the Ashes.
Yeah, it does. It does remind me of that. We can pan to the other side of the room. Not like Edward's office.
Oh, so this is the legendary Reaper's office?
Yes, it appears so.
The sense is chilled down your spine, doesn't it? What an amazingly deathly atmosphere.
Oh, is that? Oh. That hooded figure was so still. I hadn't noticed his or her presence. I wonder who it is. What are you doing here? Ah.
Oh,
No.
that was my line.
Yes! He's as unwelcoming as I thought he'd be. We have to get it wrong every time.
We have to get it wrong every time. Also, what are you doing here with another person? Alone in your office, Van Zygs?
That totally not a thing that would happen often. Actually, maybe even more so. Oh, glad to see you're well.
I am.
So, who's the person over by the wall being punished or something or other?
No punishment is taking place here.
Oh,
That's my apprentice. And he's sitting there of his own free will.
I didn't know you had an apprentice. Must be the same person who was pictured in the newspaper.
He's very able in combat. A requisite skill for anyone under my tutelage.
Are you referring to the attack on the Reaper that was reported in the papers?
The Reaper? I'd be interested to know the Reaper's true identity myself. Assuming that is, that a fabled fiend genuinely inhabits our great courtrooms.
Lord Strongheart said that the assault last night was some sort of revenge attack?
True. Carried out by henchmen of Odiasman's criminal organization. The investigation meant their arrests were imminent. Presumably some hoped to kill me before that happened.
Odie Asmund.
He's always masqueraded as one of London's most powerful financiers. A global investor. But his enormous wealth came to him by oh my god. I can read. But his enormous wealth came to him by underhand means, via his criminal activities.
And he used that money to buy himself a verdict of not guilty when he found himself in court, didn't he? Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper.
But the man got his comeuppance in the end. Yesterday, in fact, in extraordinary circumstances. It was the most unusual cause of death.
Explosion
Mm-hmm.
of an untested machine
Yeah.
is an unusual cause of death.
Well, you know, you don't see that happen most every day.
I guess true.
Especially not in this
that
day and
regard.
age.
Unusual in that it's not a thing that comes up often, I guess.
Mm.
Not unusual in the sense that, yes, this is surprising that it happened.
Oh, yes, indeed, yeah. It's not
Who
surprising,
could have foreseen?
but it's unique.
Yeah. I know about that. It was super high voltage instantaneous kinesis gone wrong.
You knew how to say that right off the bat. Spectacular.
And they just start making out on the floor.
Mr. Narher, not here. Not in front of my apprentice.
He can join.
Oh my god! Oh dear gosh!
I'm gonna hit you so hard.
Well, okay. I I have my suspicions about who's under the hood. And so that just makes it even funnier. Yeah. That just makes it even funnier once I finally put 2 and 2 together. Oh my god. Oh lord. Oh.
Sir Aspen battled in the demonstration on the public experimentation stage and an enormous explosion.
I'm sorry, I'm just so tickled by that still. Oh, that hit me like a ton of bricks, to be honest. Like at first I was like, oh okay, yeah, haha. I'm like, oh no. like it hit me just all of a sudden, and like I thought it was funny, and then it was even funnier out of nowhere. Oh, I'm so tickled. Sorry. Correct. And do you think I have some kind of divine ability to cause an accident like that to happen? Do you?
Well, no, that does seem a little far-fetched. This man really is the fabled Reaper, and he has to be innocent of this particular death, at least.
It's strange how this has worked out, isn't it, Rune? I mean, what with you taking on Professor's defense for the trial tomorrow?
What? You're going to be defending him?
Oh, yes, that's right. Though I barely know the man's name yet, to be honest.
Albert. Albert Hairbrain.
That's right. Do you know him by any chance?
No, not at all. I'm gonna be the prosecution tomorrow. No conflict of interest, I don't know him. Of course. He's a contemporary of mine. We were at university together.
Your...
What?
Your contemporary? Another man's been in your life? They just keep showing up, don't they?
You know, scale worst yandere.
That's the plot twist that makes this game different from the original.
I understood that Professor Hair... Hmm?
Sorry, I was just gonna say, plot twist is we were Reaper the whole time to make sure that there's nobody that can get in our way and be alongside with Zykes.
I feel like that'd be a weird twist, given that all the people that he failed to prosecute probably would not be hanging out with him.
Probably not.
Because, you know, that's the issue here.
Yes.
And also the readings started well before we came to London.
Shh, don't think about it.
Alright. Suspension of disbelief.
Yes, don't think about it.
Detective game.
In my detective get shh, don't think about it. Don't look too closely.
It's right up there with using tongue prints off old keys to find handprints. Or skin prints.
Tongue? I was say tongue. Did you just say tongue prints?
I'm just going extra overboard with it.
What is his name again? Selden? Selden here in prison,
Yeah.
Selden here just taking the key in his mouth, doing the, what's his name? I don't watch JoJo, but the, yes, Kakyoin. Doing the Kakyoin thing.
I'd understood that Professor Hairbrain was from Germany, though. People can move.
Hairbrain's from a respectable British family. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out research. That's all.
So we were students together.
I was in the Faculty of Law, of course, and he in Science, so our paths rarely crossed. But curiously, we got along, though I've not met him since my university days. I certainly didn't expect our next encounter to take this form. And with you, of all people, representing him.
If only I made it out of this office alive.
That looks like a pose you just taken a bite out of an apple, Van Zyx. Like a really violent one.
I think part of it is going back to the hat thing,
Yes.
where he is used to be holding a chalice.
Yes, there we go. He's got Phantom Chalice.
Yep. He's actually been charged with murder, it seems.
Yes, I know. Because the prosecution will be handled by me.
By you? But you made it sound as if you and the professor had been friends.
We are friends. It's true.
Then why would you do this?
Because it's my job.
If the Reaper's the prosecution, there's nothing anyone can do to save him. He's doomed!
Ma'am, we've been over this. He's very bad at his job. What's Lord Van Zyx thinking?
He's trying to not say anything rude to the little girl.
What do you mean by what you said before? If you'd like to know the Reaper's true identity, does that mean...
I'm a crown prosecutor, and a mortal like any other. I'm no demigod.
But they've all died, haven't they? The people you've prosecuted, I mean. Whether or not the trial ended in a conviction or an acquittal.
Those I prosecute are the vilest wretches of our society. People who, without question, deserve to be found guilty. The world is a better place without them.
But... that's not true, Mr. Natsume, for example. He wasn't a vile wretch at all.
Vile wretch with an asterisk. Asterisk goes down. And anybody that Ryunosuke Naruhodo is representing, because I want to see him court.
Nor was Jenny. In fact, she's ever so hardworking now.
I can't deny that since I encountered you. Things have taken a turn. I have unnecessary... or I'm saddled with unnecessary feelings. But the point is, if any of those vile wretches that escaped justice subsequently died in mysterious circumstances, it was at the hand of their own kind. It's not my work.
Lord Strongheart said the same. He believes you're not involved in any way.
But you were attacked by those ruffians because they believe it's true.
The fact is, since people started to call me the Reaper of the Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially.
Oh.
It would appear that even the most hardened criminals can be made fearful for their lives.
Do you mean to say...
I mean to say that if my pseudonym serves a useful purpose, I adopt it gladly and with honor.
It's putting you in danger. You could be killed.
If that is my fate, let God decide.
Lord Van Zyx.
So there's one more thing we can talk to you about. Hey. Oh, we can't even look that far. Shit. Oh, no, we can't. Okay.
It's Sholmes.
Shums.
Why does he have bats just hanging out in his office? Also, that's a fuck ton of wine for one man.
Yeah. Well, you see how much he wastes. Like, it's not like he's drinking
Yeah.
it. He's like, I gotta have wine for my court. Sorry.
It really looks like a punishment to me.
I've never seen someone sitting like that before.
He hasn't moved a muscle since we arrived.
Is your apprentice a doll?
Do you think perhaps he's dead?
Oh my god.
If he was dead, Bruno, he wouldn't be sitting up, would he?
Well, anyway, dead or alive, he's not overly approachable, is he? I don't think he's going to talk to us.
He's not dead!
Hmm. Oh my god. Well, okay.
Wah! They were bats!
What do you think they were?
Yes, the Reaper's familiars, I expect.
What about the mute man in the dark cloak? I thought he was the familiar.
No, he's the apprentice. Get it right, Reno.
Just not the flying kind. Not all familiars fly?
He must be a dear friend of Mr. Reaper, then.
I think the familiar idea is more likely. Scary though, either way.
A dear friend or a familiar? Man, Vince likes his dear friends. Ugh.
Ooh! Look! It's a scale model of the Great Exhibition Showground.
That's amazing. Wonder why it's here.
Perhaps he made it to take his mind off the sadness of being too busy to attend in person?
Or perhaps he's too embarrassed to queue up for a ticket.
Perhaps he's into miniatures. Surely it's obvious that I'm using it as an investigative aid. You Nipponese have no business painting others as overly reserved.
I really didn't think he'd overhear that.
When you're talking in his office when he's standing right there looking at all this stuff, yeah, I definitely wouldn't have ever heard that.
That portrait really dominates the room, doesn't it? Very majestic outfit and pose, but sadly, whoever painted it didn't do a very good job of capturing Lord Van Zyg's facial features.
Doesn't look dead enough.
Yes, you're right. I mean, it's not far. But the artist has exaggerated his subject's handsomeness, I think.
Ah, that reminds me. I heard Emperor Napoleon of France ordered an artist to make him look more attractive when they painted him.
Oh, Vane. That's really not an attractive quality in a person, is it?
That portrait does not depict me. Surely that's immediately obvious.
Oh, then who is it?
None of your business. It's not me.
Strong heart.
Hmm?
Strong heart. Better his dad, who died in an elevator.
Yeah. I was gonna make that joke though. I'm like, it's not me. It was past me that died before I got the scar on my face. Oh, a chessboard, yay.
Lord Van Zyg's desk. Look, so stylish.
And that's a marble chess set beside it.
Chess. That's the Western version of our Japanese shogi game, isn't it? You know, I'm actually quite good at shogi problems.
Oh, really? You'd probably like chess problems in that case.
I'd love to challenge Lord Van Zyg sometime. To chess, right?
To chess,
To
right?
chess, right? To a bout of shogi problems.
If you only really want to challenge yourself, you can always do that on your own at home.
Look at that fine collection of hallowed chalices and bottles neatly lined up there.
Ready for each. You know, everything in that case is going with him to the trial tomorrow. That's not a display case. That's like him prepping for the next day case. My hallowed bottles are filled with the essence of finest grapes from the finest vineyards I visit. And I personally oversee these chalices being made by the finest crystal craftsmen in the world.
And yet you throw them around in court like they were worthless.
Yes. Because this imbecile is so unimaginably and repeatedly wide of mark sometimes.
Oh,
Before you open your mouth next time, you should consider the poor artisans whose work you defile.
so it's my fault? Silly me. How could I ever have thought otherwise?
It's most certainly your fault. You make me have these feelings and perform these actions. This didn't happen before you came around. We talk about the wine?
All those ancient casks lining the wall there.
Casks in the Reaper's chamber. All the caskets.
You don't think... All those people who escaped conviction and court are lying inside them dead, do you?
The animation for Iris was so cute. It was so good. What ridiculous notions are going through your head, man? This is my collection of fine vintages.
Oh, yes, of course. Thank you for clearing that up.
Runa and I were just musing to ourselves. Don't mind us, Mr. Reaper.
I wouldn't, if you hadn't invited yourself to my office to talk nonsense within my earshot. Okay, before we riddle out our next thing to do here, we are hitting the top of the hour. So, if you guys will hang tight here for just a second, we will be right back with more investigation of, oh, I can't, Ben Sykes, how could I, the name, I can't speak, I can't remember my favorite characters. Ben Sykes' office. So, be right back, everyone. Alrighty. We are back. Thank you for the Celebrate Soap. I don't think we have much anything else to look at in here. I think we've kind of covered the gamut. But there's still a spot to talk to you about something. So we show you the paper. Have you seen the paper? Who's this other person in the paper with you?
Lord Van Zyx, about the article in this paper.
Ah, yes. It seems there was a reporter nearby when that little skirmish took place. I had no idea I'd been photographed. It was careless of me.
It looks as though it was taken after the people who attacked you had run away, though.
Rest assured, the police have already apprehended every last one of them.
There's someone else fighting alongside you, it seems. And I think it's the same man who's sitting over there as we speak, isn't it?
Hmm.
As I mentioned already, he's my apprentice.
Perhaps you could tell us a little more about him?
Vincent's just like staring down, like, quit prying.
He's in my tutelage to become a prosecutor. So you could say he's my apprentice, I suppose.
Ah, like you are the Harry then, Reno.
No.
I don't remember taking an apprenticeship with a great detective.
He's currently compiling a report about last night's attack.
Staring at the paper.
Yep.
Looks like he's wearing some kind of mask?
Predecessor to Mask?
Yes.
Arsène Lupin?
On Lord Strongheart's orders, nobody knows this man's face, or indeed his identity.
But why would you agree to take on such a clearly suspicious individual?
Lord Strongheart's orders again. He is not one for meaningless follies. There will be a good reason for his actions.
I hope you're right.
He just. Oh! Hello.
My name is Apprentice.
My name is Apprentice.
Ah,
The test is complete. Good. In that case, you can collate all the briefs.
Being creepy, my dude.
nice to meet you? Back to work again. That's really strange, though. I've never met the man before. I didn't even know he existed. And yet, somehow it didn't feel like our first encounter.
Hmm.
Don't bother trying to converse with him. He says nothing to anyone from outside this office. Lord Strongheart has strictly forbidden it.
Oh, let's see.
Why are you so interested in my apprentice anyway?
Oh, no, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to. The way he stood there so casually, yet that flawless posture.
Oh my god.
His big, strong shoulders.
Held his billowing cape so spectacularly.
It couldn't be. You're right, it can't. Moving on.
Don't even think about it. Ah, yes, there's something I've been meaning to ask you.
Oh, what's that?
Why are you so daft? That Nipponese man, is he faring well?
Sorry?
The one arrested twice in secession 6 months ago. The stoop, and the mustache, and the jitters.
Ah, Mr. Natsume, you mean?
I'm not sure he'd be very pleased to find out you identified him from that list, Renu.
Well, how many Japanese men does this guy know? He's fine, thank you. In fact, I received a letter from him by international post only the other day.
I see. Well, I think we can end our discussion there, don't you? There's little time left before tomorrow's trial. I advise you to spend it investigating the case.
Yes, thank you for the advice. And for the conversation. I believe he's asking after Soseki-san. After a Nipponese. I'm not sure whether to feel happy about that or worried.
I never imagined that Mr. Reaper would be friends with the mad scientist, did you? That's a turn up for the books.
Mad scientist? Ah, you mean Professor Hairbrain. Sounds like a villain from a Saturday morning cartoon.
It does. It's he sounds like he'd be in league with Snidely Whiplash. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or Doofenshmirtz.
Doofenshmirtz.
Yes, it might be worth quizzing the professor about his relationship with Lord Van Zykes, I think.
Well, alas, I think we must leave now. We filled the 4 topics. We have nothing else to present unless you'd like to look at my armband. Oh my god.
I know you've seen this around my arm before, but
What is it exactly?
it's the mark of a defense lawyer. In Japan, at least.
And what's your reason for showing it to a British prosecutor?
Oh, well, I don't know, really.
I can understand, at least. There's merit in reminding yourself of who helped you become what you are today.
Oh,
But that's a personal matter. Something you may want to keep close at all times. Not something to flaunt.
no, I suppose not. Thank you for your understanding, though.
I got no word for that. Interesting.
The implication there is that he also got his badge from somebody close to him.
Yeah. And it's not only that, but it is a sentimental reason why, you know? Very interesting. Okay, I guess we're off to go visit our defendant then. October. Local prison, cell 11.
The warden said cell 11. That's this one.
Oh, there's someone curled up in a ball in the back corner. Look,
What's his name again? Professor Albert Hairbrain, wasn't it? Excuse me, Professor Hairbrain?
Do you want me to take him?
Don't know if he would have a German accent or a British accent.
Maybe a British with a slight tinge of German, since he was originally from Britain. You know how, like, whenever you stay in an area long enough that you pick up just a little bit of the pronunciation sometimes?
Right, but that sounds hard.
Sorry, just logically thinking was not contributing into the thought of how would one have a voice and not only that, but present the voice.
Cannot think of a voice for this man.
Hmm.
Because I don't think he's written German, is the thing.
No,
so.
I don't think so. And he seems
But
very like.
he hasn't given me a lot to work with like Soseki did.
That's true. I don't know. He also like from the opening cutscene at the very least, like disregarding the voice actor, right? But just like the way he talks and the way that he goes about stuff, he seems like he's a couple steps away from being like a Japanese game show host with the way that he goes about explaining things. It was very excitable.
Yeah, but if I'm not careful, I'll just go back into Many Momo.
Hmm. That's true. Voice what this man have? I didn't think this would be the character that would be the hardest to pick.
Just look at him. He's not giving us a lot.
He's not. No, he's not serving anything right now. Hmm. I'm not that great with voices either. I can't just pull a random one out of my hat.
I don't think I've ever done a German voice for a character.
I think I would fail miserably at trying to keep even a over-the-top German accent, like stereotypical.
I can do French. Spanish is by no means French.
You know what, though? Give him the French accent.
No. It sounds so hard. Because the Frenchman, he actually had like French isms in his text boxes.
That's true. So it lent to it. No, I just see "Who are you?" and it makes me think of the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland. I can't think of anything else.
It's, who are you? Who?
I don't know what to give this guy. Who are you? Who are you? We wouldn't know that.
Whomst is this man?
Whomst is this crazy madman? Someone can collect your man.
We gotta look up the walkthrough.
Huh?
We gotta look up the walkthrough, figure out how to voice Hairbrain.
How to voice it? Well, the walkthrough's no spoilers, so it would be very like, what's the word? I can't even think of the word. It would be just as hard as this. We'd be extrapolating from vague comments of pick this, select the first option, select the third option, present this profile. Like,
Let's move past the box and then see if we get something on the next one.
That's a little more.
Was it something I said? Also, I'm looking at him like I don't want to do Natsume again.
I understand what you mean.
But he's like he doesn't feel very sure of himself. He's not stuttery, but
He feels less like where, to me, right? At least from this so far. Natsume would be like a you're a lawyer, you're a lawyer, you say. This guy's lawyer, you say. Like, he just seems, he doesn't think before he speaks. He just lets the words come out and they repeat themselves before he speaks. It's a stutter in a way of just like, I'm tripping over my words to get them out versus I can't get the words out.
right. And then there's the stutter.
And then there's the stutter. Prove me wrong almost immediately.
My other thing is, like, I want to give him a German accent, but I also am loath to think about what that would mean
For the rest of the
bouncing between
case.
that and everybody else.
Yes. Hmm.
Like, on the one hand, it feels like we're overthinking it, but on the other hand, if we're stuck with this guy for a bit,
Yeah,
then-
exactly. He's gonna be our defendant. This is not just like a one-off guy that'll show up as a witness and be gone, you know? Like, he's gonna be
In
here
this
for
game,
at least...
that's not a thing anyway.
Yeah, like they keep coming back.
You
Well,
gotta deal with witnesses for at least an entire trial.
and yeah, not only that, but like, granted, this guy may not be here as long because we only have 3 more cases. But Sosaki's been here for a long time. We've seen him in at least 3 cases now. Like,
Yeah.
you get characters that recur like that. So we need to... We're being thoughtful about our process for this guy, because who knows? If he's friends with Van Zykes, and it turns out he actually is innocent, and we get him off, then he could show up again, you know?
Yeah. Plus, anybody could be just involved in the next 2 cases
Yes.
with everything that's been going on.
Mm-hmm. We're approaching the end of the end, so...
Would you be here about the experiment? Are you going to defend my hypothesis? Your hypothesis? Sorry, I don't. Yesterday's demonstration! That demonstration was... That magnificent demonstration was... It was an out-and-out success by anyone's calculations. But despite that... No one listens! No lawyer believes in science. When it's explained, they all leave at high velocity.
This man here can say... What was the phrasing? Something kinesis? In...
I can't remember the whole thing.
I can't remember what it is. This man can say it,
High
though.
high voltage instantaneous kinesis or something.
Something like that.
Ah. Size in British.
Size in British.
Now's probably not a good time to mention that your zeal made my concentration leave for a while too.
Let's talk. Yesterday's demonstration.
You mentioned the demonstration yesterday.
And the papers are called a spectacular failure. After all, a man died in the explosion, didn't he?
Ah, yes, you could interpret the results that way if you really wanted to. Well, I suppose in the strictest sense. The experiment was a failure. At the same time, it was a great success. You asked me. I saw it with my own eyes. Right there in front of me. Mr. Hasman was spontaneously disassembled. It's called an explosion. Until then, everything was going exactly as my calculations had predicted. At that point, I should have been beamed to the Crystal Tower by instantaneous kinesis. However, the machine exploded and Mr. Assman in fact perished. Yes, I can't deny that part of the experiment was a failure. So what you're really saying is the large explosion that killed Master Asman was an accident, correct?
But the bigwigs had you arrested on suspicion of murder.
I was responsible for a man's death. That is immutable truth here. And for that, I should be punished at once. But murder? Never in a million years. It It was an accident. Simply an accident. I have to be really careful not to slip into, like, the voice that I use for, Sholmes.
Yeah.
I see.
Harley and I were talking this morning, you know. He said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or murder.
How exactly?
Man, if it really was an accident, then the professor's machine would be kept in protective custody.
On what grounds? Oh, yes. It's newly established in Britain. The Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. That one passed me by.
But if the case is treated as murder,
Then they'll say my machine was the murder weapon, and they'll be able to pore over it as much as they like. They examine it in detail. They'll find out how it's made, and then they'll be able to copy my idea. My precious hypothesis will be stolen. The machine must be protected from that at all costs. That's why it's imperative this whole incident is shown to have been an accident in tomorrow's trial. Ah, I see now.
Instantaneous kinesis. Oh, did I go? I did...
Yep. I understand Lord Van Zykes is a friend of yours from the university days. Yes, that's right. He was studying law whilst I was studying science. What was he like back then? Good question. Swimming, gentlemanly. I see. An all-round nice fellow, really. Sorry, I think you misheard me.
Don't tell me the opposite of what he is like.
Talking about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor, Baron Van Zykes? What was he like when he was in university?
talk about a leading question, Reno.
That's all I said, an unassuming and extremely pleasant gentleman. After all, he is the little darling of the Van Zykes family, the holds great aristocratic origins.
I didn't realize he'd had quite such noble blood.
Did you see his glassware collection? Or crystalware, my bad.
Crystalware.
Little darling.
Then start calling him that now when he goes my my learned Nipponese friend. Be like, oh yes, little darling Van Zykes.
It was a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and learned what he'd become. Reaper the Bailey, no less. Yes, that's right. I did hear, though, that there was a very big event in his life that completely changed him after graduation. Really? What sort of event?
Spill the tea.
There was an earthquake and his dad died.
Yeah.
Ugh. Sir? You having a brain blast? Not the good kind?
Oh, he's hairbrain after all. You know, he's hairbrain. You know, like, you get like an eyelash in your eye and you're like, oh my god, this is the worst thing ever. He gets a hair in his brain.
Just creeps down from his afro.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I don't know anymore. I wasn't in the country at the time. I was in Germany already. Oh. Yes, of course. These aren't all about the Reaper. I really don't have the heart to tell him that Lord Van Zykes will be a prosecutor in court tomorrow.
Okay, let's talk about instantaneous kinesis for real this time.
You instantaneously kinetic down to the third option.
I did. You know what? I'm just magnetically attracted to Van Zyges, it seems. There was no way that I wouldn't. I could not avoid it. I could not have avoided that particular scenario there. It was going to happen, irregardless of how hard
Yeah.
I tried to go to instantaneous kinesis.
So in short, there was a terrible accident at the Great Exhibition Showground yesterday. Yes, or either no. The devil's in the details. Strictly speaking, there was a terrible explosion. Sounds the same to me. Wait, you?
Tweet your Discord. No Genshin. Not today. I looked at your attorney's badge. Thank you.
You were demonstrating super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, weren't you? How fascinating!
Humans, like all matter, are made up of particles that are held together by electrical bonds. It's be possible, using a sufficiently high voltage, to break those bonds and beam the particles through space. That's it in a nutshell. It's my idea, you see? My amazing hypothesis. Gosh, that's unimaginably high-level science. I also kind of get into, like, Full Metal Alchemist shit here, though.
Yeah.
We're like, we understand the elemental composition of the human body, thus it is possible to recreate it. And it's like,
Yeah.
no!
No.
Not how that works.
Don't do that.
Oh, but dare to imagine it! Dare to dream of such incredible technology! I could, perhaps, fuse together a young girl and a dog.
Iron's like, no! Don't look at me!
Don't you dare look at
A
me!
young girl and a cat!
Girl and her cat.
Maggie!
Think! One moment I could be here in the cell, and the next, I'd be at the Great Exhibition again.
Instead of Edward, Albert. Oh my god.
Well, yes, that would be incredible. And the next, in the mere blink of an eye, we'll be at a great Parisian theatre, say. Possibilities are endless. The whole of our vast planet will be within reach. So, no more hiding in wardrobes on rocky seas for 50 days?
And having your best friend die just feet away from you after tripping over a cat and breaking its neck.
I don't really see it like that.
What do you mean, Iris?
Well, if you could travel anywhere in the world instantly, the planet wouldn't really seem vast anymore, would it? I think it would feel like it had shrunk.
My word! That's exactly right! What are the implications? What does this mean?
Oops, that's got Professor Bunny Brain really worried by the look of it.
I didn't know Mario was in this game.
I didn't realize either.
Clearly, this is yet another case of just because you can doesn't mean you should, I suppose. Point is, my calculations are flawless. The science works. Without a practical demonstration, it means nothing. That's always the fly in the ointment.
Because practical demonstrations cost a lot of money. Money that young scientists like you don't have.
That's exactly it, yes.
Harry's always complaining about it. He says the government should invest more in science.
Strongheart just kicks in and goes, "Yes, exactly!"
Yes, exactly! I will use you as my 228th point.
I think it's 223, so 224th. Because I accidentally came up with a 7 for some reason.
Was it 222?
No, I think the last number was a 3.
223. Maybe it was 223, yes. I don't know. I will use you as the next point. And perhaps an argument if you make one compelling enough.
13 arguments.
The 13 arguments. Then was it like the 9 circles of hell? The 13 arguments of Strongheart.
Strongheart. Well, anyway, I bumped into him at the right time. I met the well-known investor, Mr. Asman. Victim who died in yesterday's terrible accident, you mean?
Reaper's varsity years.
Full name of the man who died in yesterday's accident was Mr. Odi Asman, wasn't it? What exactly was your relationship with the man? He first visited me in my laboratory in Germany a year ago now. He said he wanted to invest in my immaculate hypothesis. I thanked my lucky stars. I see. So we hadn't really known each other until then.
You know, he was like my scientific sugar daddy, if you would.
I would not.
Money for scientific research. I'm so envious.
As far as I was concerned, the man was an angel. And now he really is. Oh, really?
Well, maybe.
Probably not. An archangel, even. He is prepared to fund a practical demonstration of my hypothesis for presentation at the Great Exhibition. And if that went well, I could expect additional financial support for my research from the British government. Mr. Asman provided me with the money and an exceptional engineer.
Who was that?
He produced a machine to my precise specifications.
But then, your dreams were blown to dust in one enormous explosion.
As you can see, I owed everything to Mr. Asman. I would never have thought of taking the man's life. Well, he seems genuine enough. I don't think he's lying. So, Professor, let me just make absolutely sure I've understood you properly. The huge explosion that occurred yesterday, that was an accident, you're saying? You had no intent to harm the victim, who was in fact the sole investor in your work, is that correct? As correct as 2 squared is 4, I swear it! Nerd. Yes, it's true that the man perished in a machine of my invention. So I know that I'm far from blameless in all this, but still. I would never use my discoveries, my inventions, to take a person's life. Not in a centillion years. I'm a man of science. It's all I know. You have to believe me, please. Do you believe me? Do you believe in my hypothesis? Science is the pursuit of truth, you know. I've always believed that, all my life. I'm afraid I don't know much about science, or your theories. But I do believe you, and I'll fight to prove your innocence with all my might. I'm a man of the law. It's all I know. You have to believe me, Please. What?
Are they both trying to win each other over? Like,
I feel like Airbrain was willing to just give us the reins on this one.
I know,
but
it felt
okay.
like that. I felt like he was pleading with us. Like,
Yeah. When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything. Nope. Thank you for that, Professor.
appreciate it. You will soon learn that that is an archaic
All you have
thought.
to do is stop eating avocado toast, and you can achieve anything.
Yeah. Oh,
And thank you in advance for defending me in court tomorrow.
that was it?
Alright, Reno, it's time! Time to visit the great exhibition!
Sorry?
Well, that's where the incident happened, isn't it? We're going to the great exhibition.
Even though it's like midnight now. Yes, I suppose that's true. We'll investigate it last.
Okay, you know what? I think it's a good stopping point, even though it's a little before midnight. I think before we get too into the weeds with the investigation and then get lost while we're investigating, I think it's a good spot
Worst.
to stop and give a save. So we finished what we wanted to talk to with him. So I think we're at a good spot, you know? Okay. Let's see what we got going on here. Let's see. Whenever I click on the little raid button now, it has a new weird little pop-up. And which is kind of nice. At the same time, a little disorienting because I've never dealt with this before. Here. No. It looks like Arya is still streaming. Doing Honkai Star Rail. We'll raid out to Arya tonight. We'll go ahead and do that. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming to hang out tonight. Been a good night. We've learned some things. What's the word? I've not learned how to speak, obviously, or speak my thoughts. Over the last almost 4 hours, I have not learned how to do that. I blame that on the exhaustion. But yeah, so what's today? Thursday? So our next stream is going to be on Saturday. We're going to be doing a Genshin community co-op stream. So if you guys play Genshin Impact, feel free to come tune in. If not, I can't speak. This is not a sponsored stream, so I can't talk about it. But if you play Genshin Impact, and so happen to see our Latino in the panels below, and would be interested in downloading the game if you don't, you could join the community co-op stream this coming Saturday. And also feel free to see the schedule on Twitter, which I've linked in here. And then also you feel free to join the Discord. The schedule's there, and not only that, if you wanted to do community co-op and get on the voice chat, that would be the place to be to get into the voice chat. So feel free to consider that. Other than that, talked about the schedule, talked about what we're doing Saturday, talked about Discord and Twitter. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, I feel like I'm forgetting something. I don't know what it is. Who knows what it is? Let's go ahead and get the raid messages here. So feel free to grab whichever raid message applies to you. If you are a follower or if you are a subscriber, feel free to grab one or two. We're gonna go ahead and read out to Arya, who's playing Honkai Star Rail tonight. Where specifically in Honkai Star Rail, I have no clue because I'm so far behind. But she seems like she's having fun
New
nonetheless.
stuff.
I
Like
see.
brand new stuff.
See, stuff that I am so far away from. I am light years away from. But yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it. I think of anything else, and my brain really is kind of shutting down. Well, we'll leave it at that. I'm shutting down, so it's time for stream to shut down. Thank you everyone again for coming to hang out tonight. I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. And like I said, we're going to be reading out to Arya, and I will see you guys next time. So, this has been me, Tia, signing off, and we'll see you Saturday. Bye guys! Good night!
Bye.